All right, Coach, in just a little over 3 months, the 2015 season will begin. We're here to talk about the schedule today, and we open quickly with a bang down in Athens, Georgia. Talk about that series.
We're going to ease into it, aren't we?
Yeah.
We got an opportunity with Coach Strickland and their coaching staff, who we've known for a long time and have a lot of respect for them. We got an opportunity to go play, and we couldn't pass that up. They're doing a great job down there with the program, and Scott and his staff, and they're opening the new stadium. They renovated the stadium down there, and I don't know if they were just finding a tough time finding somebody to come in there and play, but we kind of raised our hands, said, yeah, we'll do it, and really looking forward to it. It's going to be a trip that I think our fans can go to as well, playing a really storied SEC program at their place, opening up a new stadium, so we're excited about that opening weekend.
Give the fans kind of an idea of what it takes to schedule games, because it's not something that's just thrown together in the offseason.
Yeah.
Last year. It's years in advance of getting these games scheduled.
It's not an easy process. We're thankful that Georgia is going to play us. This year we're playing 3 games down there, and then they're coming back to Charlotte in 2016 to play. So anytime we can get that kind of arrangement with an SEC program that's a very good program that's won a national championship in the past, we're going to take it. So it's difficult. We try to play the best schedule that we can from an RPI standpoint, try to manage that with the least amount of missed class time that we can, as well as travel and budget issues that we have to stay within. So it's difficult, but it's something that we try to do the best with we can.
We have 56 games on the schedule. 34 of them will be right behind you here at Hayes Stadium. Talk about the 34 home games. As soon as we get back from Georgia, we have 18 in a row here at home.
We do, and just going down the list here, we got College of Charleston in here in February, and they won a regional. They were in a super regional last year at Texas Tech. We got Rice the opening weekend of conference play, Florida Atlantic the second weekend of conference play. Our conference schedule is a little bit different this year than it was last year, in the fact that we play the first 2 series at home. So that's why we've got so many home games to start, and then Louisiana Tech comes in here, and we play North Carolina State at BB&T Park downtown Charlotte. I know we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. We've got Winthrop here, Middle Tennessee, Wake Forest here, Gardner-Webb here. We've not played them for a while, and those guys do a great job down there at Gardner-Webb. We had a bye weekend in May, and we were able to fill that with Dallas Baptist, and again, they've got a tremendous program. We've played them in the past. It's been really good for us to play them. And then UTSA to end the regular season. So a little bit bunched up at the front end, again, due to our conference schedule where we play the first 2 weekends at home. But pretty balanced with our travel, pretty balanced with our conference play in terms of playing a good mix of teams, and some that have never been here before. Rice has never been here before. UTSA has never been here before. So we're really looking forward to that. One little glitch in the conference schedule, is that we got to go back to Old Dominion again. With a couple of schools exiting and going to another league, and then Western Kentucky coming in, there was a little bit of a glitch for this year's schedule, but that'll balance back out again next year. And what you'll see with next year's schedule in 2016 is the games that we play at home, or the series we play at home, we'll flip those and go on the road for 2016, and the ones that that we're on the road this year for, they will come back here in 2016. So really balanced schedule, a lot of good RPI games for us. And again, the goal every year is to try to put together a schedule to give us a chance to, get in that large bid and try to play in the NCAA tournament. So I think that if we take care of our business on the field, this schedule kind of affords us that opportunity.
Well, Norfolk's not the worst place to go back to, as long as it's not cold and windy like last year.
Last year, wasn't it? But we played through it at Old Dominion. Again, I was in a regional last year. They beat Virginia when they were number 1 in the country, and we're looking forward to going back there and playing. They've really done some things to kind of clean up their facility. They're building a brand new indoor place, and I don't know that we can play the game inside, but it's a 5.5 hour trip up there, and again, it's a trip that we've got our fan base can go to and support us.
How much of a positive is it to have 18 early games at home to give the guys a chance to gel together and hopefully?
That's a good question. Hopefully the weather's a lot better this year than it was last year. We'll see. Coach Rimbalak at Akron, that's a team that we've been trying to play for a couple of years. He was at Wake Forest and did a good job there, and he's back in the MAC again, where he feels really comfortable, and they've gotten better, so get a chance to play them and get a chance to play, teams where we're gonna be challenged. We're gonna play a lot of different styles during that time. Again, trying to get us ready for our conference play.
You mentioned Rice coming in here. The other team we play this year, we didn't last year. We go up to Marshall later on in April. But then let's talk about some of the draft picks that Conference USA had from Rice, from Old Dominion, Middle Tennessee, all of these schools that maybe baseball fans are starting to realize are, hey, they're pretty good.
It's a big-time league.
Right.
And we've talked about that for forever. And, you see guys, you turn on the Major League Baseball playoffs, and you see guys that have played in Conference USA that are playing at the absolute highest levels. And it's a great league. There was several high picks last year. We had 2 guys drafted, so we kind of were able to add our name to that list of guys, that was taken from Conference USA, and it's going to continue to be that way as we move forward. Adding Western Kentucky, a lot of people don't know about Western Kentucky, but they've got a good, solid program. They play a quality non-conference schedule. They're playing Indiana, they're playing Louisville, they're playing a lot of teams in that part of the country that can really play. So I think they're going to be a really good addition. And again, we jump right in the fire to play Rice the first weekend of conference play. And every series is important, as you know. 1 or 2 games matters a lot. And the difference between maybe finishing first or second or third and not even making the conference tournament's only a matter of a couple of games. So. We're going to try to do everything we can over the off season here to get as strong as we can and try to be healthy once we start practice in January. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. We can have good practices and hopefully we can get in a rhythm playing wise here early in the season like we need to get ready for conference play.
With all the travel that Conference USA demands, how important is it to schedule the local teams like Gardner-Webb, Winthrop, NC State, those guys that make a road game not as much of a hassle?
Well, it is important, and I don't want to get too long-winded on this part of it, but the academic part of it for us has always been important. Our guys have done a great job in the classroom and graduate over 90% of the guys that have come through here in the time that we've been here. But with that being said, there's always a balance to not traveling a whole lot if you can keep from it in the midweek. And again, we're kind of fortunate here in the fact that there's a lot of schools in this area. Not everyone really wants to play. Sometimes not everyone really wants to play home and home. We've had some that have we've played at their place and they haven't returned the games that they were supposed to return. There's been a whole mix of stuff that's kind of happened with scheduling, but we try to play the best teams we can in this area, and I think as you look at our schedule this go around, you can see that, and as we move forward, you're going to see it in 2016 and 2017 too with some of the teams we're going to have on the schedule the next couple of years.
In addition to everything we've talked about, we're going to make a little history that we know of right off the bat when we get to play NC State downtown at the Knights Ballpark March 31st. Talk about what went into that process and getting that schedule. That's going to be a really fun night.
Kind of getting goosebumps just talking about it. It's going to be fantastic. They opened the stadium up this past year, and I can't say enough good things about the Knights and how they've done things. With Dan and with Scotty and the ownership group, and they're trying to branch out and get college games there at their facility. It's a beautiful place to play. They can seat about 10,000 people. Really thankful that Coach Avent and NC State's administration was willing to play us there. We're going to play a game in Raleigh, too, to kind of balance the schedule out this year, but I think it's going to be a great deal. I'm being told that we're going to be the first college baseball game ever in that stadium, which is really, really cool. I know our players are excited about it, our staff's excited about it, and to be honest with you, we're going to need Niner Nation to show up. The last thing that we want is to have a sea of red when we play in downtown Charlotte, and I know NC State's fan base will show up, and Niner Nation needs to step up that night as well as the other games on our schedule and get out here. You can see some great college baseball, and our program really needs the support.
Now with a year back in Conference USA under our belt, is there some familiarity now with some of these teams that we'll be facing again for the second time?
Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah.
It's I was talking to the soccer guys a little bit earlier this afternoon. They play at Kentucky. This week they're trying to win a Conference USA championship. We got to talking about the similarities between, the level of play that they see every time they play in conference and what we see, and it's very, very similar. Men's soccer is a great league. I know they kind of pull from SEC schools that don't have a league for soccer in SEC, but it's just a great league. It's great competition. You play 30 games and you find out who can really play and who can't play. And not to rehash last year, but we got hit in the mouth last year, and we kind of got smacked around early in the season, and we made a lot of good adjustments from about the midway point on and played above 500 the second half of the season. We need that to continue moving forward in 2015.
Last thing to get you to comment on, fall practice wrapped up, Halloween last Friday. Just give us an overall update on how fall went as we get ready to get into February and get going for real.
I'm smirking because we kind of stepped out of our normal routine and we allowed our guys to kind of dress up on Halloween and show off their costumes. I saw it posted on Twitter. The picture was actually pretty good. Our guys did a good job. I told them they couldn't wear their costumes during practice, that last day of practice, but we pushed our practice back because we got rain on the front end, and I think it helped us. I think it was good for us to play those 5 more days at the end versus what we normally would. Knock on wood, we stayed relatively healthy. Des Roberts broke his hand, so he wasn't able to go through our pro day that we had on last Thursday, but he's a guy that's getting some interest from some pro scouts, and hopefully he'll be healthy for the spring. And we were really careful with our pitching staff. We're not real deep pitching wise this go around, but we've got some guys we think can develop into Conference USA level guys. And the good thing from a pitching standpoint this year is we're not going to lose anybody. So everybody's going to be back this time next year. And we've got some guys we're going to sign here in the signing period in November that I think are really going to help us and add to the mix. So pleased. We're not there yet. We got to get stronger in the weight room, but pleased with the effort level. Our younger guys really got better the last couple of weeks, and I think they were starting to figure out the speed of the game. We're still going to be a very young team again this year, and we knew that going in with how our roster kind of shaped up last year and the guys that we recruited. But we've got a couple of junior college guys that I think are going to help us, and I think if we can stay healthy, I think that we're going to have a chance to have a pretty good year.
Final thoughts on the Conference USA schedule: 30 games, 15 home, 15 away, a grind like you mentioned.
It's good though. It's good. It's like we talked about before. It's a great league. It's very well managed. It's important to the people in the conference office that baseball does well. And when you go to conference meetings or we do conference calls like we do, and the first thing that they say is they want to talk about winning a national championship with somebody in our league, and that's anytime you hear those words, it's really, really good because there's only about 5 or 6 leagues in the country that can really say that, and Conference USA is one of those leagues.